Bronie here again for another day in Bronie's world. Woo! I have an absolutely amazing friend with me today. This man and his beautiful wife took me under their wing when I came into this company. I mean, must admit I reached out and started joining a couple of their group sessions because I needed to learn. And they just took me under their wing as one of their own. Tom and Denice, sadly, or not so sadly, it depends on how you look at it, about a month ago, were in a head-on collision and my heart just broke. I was in tears and in tears when I found out and tried to reach it, and I did get Tom on the phone eventually because, I've had a very, as most of you know, my husband's brother's wife passed away, and then a couple of weeks later, my sister in America passed away. So, this month I've been doing a thing on grief and trauma because, not just because of those two things, but because there have been other traumatic events happening in my own personal life. And I felt this was a subject that was not looked at enough to help people cope through those times. And I've had a lot of traumatic events over my own lifetime. And I noticed a difference between before, when I wasn't in a good mindset and when I wasn't giving my body what it needed, to now. And when I heard of what happened to Tom and Denice and saw the difference in them and how they've coped and got through things and the difference it made, I thought their story's worth telling, it's worth hearing. And as a certified holistic health coach, as people who help promote people's better health, then this story needs to be told because they are living proof at what happens when you take care of your body before a traumatic event happens. Because I can tell you, with my sister passing away, I think I coped with it a lot better than what I would have, or than what I did, than when my mother passed away 21 years ago. The difference, because, and don't get me wrong, I'm still hurting, but my mental state and my the nutrition's in my body has helped me deal with it better. You never get over it, but it's how you deal with it. Anyway, with no further ado, I'm going to hand you over to my beautiful friend, Tom Chenault. Look at that, I got it right. His wife, Denise, well, he'll explain why she's not with us. Maybe she might pop in later. We'll just see. All right, so Tom, the floor is now all yours. Take it away, my friend.
All right, thank you very much. It's good to see all you people. And Australia continues to be one of my favorite places to go, and I will get back down there. I offered to go on a corporate tour with Longevity, and Tracy Dewar told me, quite frankly, Tom, you're too old. These people don't want to hear from you, which really
yes,
kind of hurt me. But it was probably true, and I can get over that. And I think that was more trauma to me than this wreck. And I don't agree with her, but it's her horse, it's her circus, and I'm just one of the monkeys. So she runs that show and I don't, and that's okay with me. And I can come down there and do whatever I want on my own dime. And once I get back on my feet, I will do that. I love Australia. I love New Zealand. And most of all, I love Longevity. We just went through I'm 73 years old, and I've had some trauma in my life, obviously. I'm a recovering alcoholic for more than 35 years. And in those drinking days, a lot of stuff happened, a lot of car wrecks, a lot of things like that. But having somebody cross the center line at 55 miles an hour and hit us head on was an event. And we rolled 4 times. That was an event. I was unconscious. They had to pull me out of the car. I have a broken sternum. I got messed up lungs. I've got a bad concussion. And I'm just, and my legs all jacked up and I'm cut up and scabbed up. And it's really, and I can't drive for another month. And it's really, really been a tremendous mind game, because my mind constantly tries to convince me that I should feel sorry for myself. And I am convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that this was the best thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. And it gave me perspective I never would have had. I was at that age of 73, kind of parlaying off of what Tracy said, maybe it's time for me to hang up my spikes. And I think God kind of said, no, not yet. You got more in the tank, Tom. You've got more to do. So I got in the accident, and nobody knows this story but you guys. So this story is like brand new, hot off the press. So we came home, and we got we're beat up, and we're injured, and that's another story. But why dwell on it? We're feeling better now. And so I'm going to just fast forward to the last couple of days. So I get the accident report in the mail, and it tells me the name of the guy that hit us. And I read the accident report, and it said the guy that hit us was so concerned about Denice and I. He was a wonderful guy. He said he just glanced down, looked up, and bam. So, and I believe that, because if there was ever a drunken driver in the world, it was Tom Chenault. If there was ever an unconscious driver in the world, it was Tom Chenault. If there was ever a person who could easily have been the guy that did the hitting instead of getting hit, it was Tom Chenault. So as a result of that, I'm in a space of unbelievable gratitude. And so I read that report, and I thought, I think I'll look this guy up. So I look him up on the internet and on Instagram, and it turns out he's a very famous, accomplished author. And so I go, okay, well, let me see who his friends are. So I see his friends, and his friends are a whole bunch of friends of mine from Alcoholics Anonymous. So this is, so I either know he's a recovering alcoholic, and I'm not going to tell you whether that's yes or no. And but I know he knows some friends of mine. So I reached out to there's a very famous podcaster who they commented back and forth on. So I knew they knew each other. So my mission, because of contact mapping and the way I do life, was to figure out who this guy is and how can I know who the podcaster is, because the podcaster is going to lead me over to, it gets better than this by a long shot, over to who this guy is. So I'm asking around of all my important friends, and none of my important friends even know who he is. And that's okay with me too. I keep looking. Here's the car, by the way, because I'm looking for something else. That's the car we got hit in. And so we took a hit. And I'm still in that car, believe it or not. And they haven't even pulled me out yet. But it was a terrible, terrible accident. His car was upside down on the road. It was a great big truck. That was a little Toyota Corolla. But this guy was this podcaster. I'm sitting at breakfast last week talking to a couple of friends of mine who have no business knowing that podcaster. None whatsoever. And my friend, I can't believe this text message I need isn't in here. My friend said to me, I know Tommy Rosen. I know that podcaster. I go, how could you know him? And her eyes twinkled, and there's a story there I haven't heard yet. And she said, I know him quite well. I said, you're kidding me. I said, here's the story. I want to reach out to this guy. I want him to know all is well. I want him to know we bear no animosity. And I want him to know it could have happened to anybody. Could you get that word to Tommy Rosen? So she goes, okay, I'll do what I can. So yesterday I get a message, and basically it said, I'm going to cry. It basically said, this is Tom Chenault. This is Tommy Rosen. I'd love to talk to you. Brooke told me what happened. I'm terribly sorry. Please call me. So I say, fine. I talked to him for an hour on the phone. He's a yoga instructor. He's a famous podcaster, and he's a wonderful human being who lives in the same world I do. And it was an unbelievable, I'm looking for something. It was an unbelievable conversation. And I love him. And he said, he's going to reach out to this guy. He said, I don't know if he was drunk. I don't know if he was sober. I know I love him. I know he's a good man. I know this is going to be really good for him. I really want to have you for a friend. And what I want to do beyond that is have business with you and everything else. He said, my life is all vitamins and minerals. I go, what? He goes, my life is all vitamins and minerals. I go, vitamins and minerals. And he goes on to tell me that it's not about our vitamins and minerals, or not even our literal vitamins and minerals, but about the epidemic called the pharmaceutical companies and all the things going on with the drug addicts and all this stuff. That's his life mission, is to help with that. And he and I have so much in common. So we're talking about that, and I just want to throw up on him about Dr. Wallach, but I can't, because that's the way the amateurs do it. If you want to catch a mouse, you have to think like a cheese. So I want to go slow. So get ready for God being in charge of everything right now, which is where I hope this conversation was supposed to go. So this podcast right here, it's called The Biology of Recovery from Victim to Self-Mastery with Bruce Lipton, PhD. Bruce Lipton, I know you guys have heard that name. It's gone in one ear and it's gone out the other. But what Dr. Wallach will tell you all the time is that Bruce Lipton is the other grandfather of epigenetics. And here's the interview from October 13th, the last interview Tommy Rosen did with Bruce Lipton. You can't make this up. It's the universe conspiring to show me what the rest of my life's going to look like, and that I've been playing it too small. So I listened to this thing, and it's like talking to Dr. Wallach's twin brother. And these guys have this unbelievable discourse that would make you faint. And I'm going, holy mackerel. Bridging science and the spirit. He was on the faculty of Wisconsin School of Medicine, groundbreaking research at Stanford University. You might have read that in his best-selling book, The Biology of Belief. He received the prestigious Goya East Award in Japan for his scientific contribution to world harmony. That's who I am. So I'm like flipping out. So I go, am I imagining this? Because you guys heard it in one ear and out the other about Dr. Wallach and Bruce Lipton. So, scientist that I am, brilliant man that I am, I reached into my memory bank and there was nothing there. So I did what I always do, and I went to Google, and out came this. The Case for Epigenetics with Dr. Joel Wallach and Dr. Bruce Lipton on Michael Zwirling's radio show. And it was hilarious. And Dr. Wallach was driving the bus. Bruce Lipton was kissing his butt. And it was the cutest interview you ever heard in your life. And they're letting callers come in to talk about their sore toe and all the stuff that Michael Zwirling's show is all about. It was absolutely beautiful. So I got done with that. I sent Tommy Rosen a note, and I said, guess what, Tommy? I'm going to send you this thing with Dr. Wallach, because I have been selling vitamins and minerals, literal vitamins and minerals, for 30 years. It's my life work. Your life work is vitamins and minerals on the spiritual front, on the medical war against the pharmaceuticals front. We need to merge and come together. But I would have never gotten to Tommy Rosen. I would have never been able to expand Dr. Wallach's conversation. And instead, I'm right in the thick of things. And the reason is I didn't turn this terrible car wreck into a situation where it was about me. I knew God had a bigger plan for me. I needed to slow down. I needed to get a real good look at what death looked like. I needed to clear the plate of everything not important and do what I do best, which is contact mapping, now sight, and connecting people. I am the best at that. I can't tie Grant McGinnis's shoes. I can't tie the shoes of Bronwyn Clinton. I can't do any of that. I haven't got the brains God gave a crowbar, but I connect people really, really well. And what the name of the game is, every one of us need to learn how to connect everybody really, really well and figure out what's in it for them. So the doctors over at the hospital called Cheshire Medical Clinic called me on the phone. And they said, we want you to know that you're 70% of the people that are in the accident you were just in die. Of the 30% that didn't, they're hurt bad. And we just want you to know how lucky you are that you take such good care of yourself. And I said, well, thank you. We ran all the tests on your blood, on everything in your body. We're looking for deficiencies and we're looking for problems. And you don't have any problems, Tom. What do you do? Are you like a 73-year-old ultra athlete? And I go, no, I'm a whole lot closer to a 73-year-old couch potato, but I do spend 1 hour a day. I did it today, even though I'm walking like a tortoise, in heart rate zone 2. And I don't know if you guys even know what that means, but whatever you're doing with your heart, you don't stress it anymore. You put it into heart rate zone 2. So coming to the back of the house, here's what I did. I put on this snazzy shirt. I got out of this bad shirt out of my bad shirt, but I didn't take off my heart rate monitor. So right this second, I wear this heart rate monitor literally all the time because I want to know what my heart's doing all the time, because it drives the bus. And I am telling you one thing right now, I have got one healthy heart. And I know it's all because of Dr. Joel Wallach, Dr. Peter Glidden, Dr. Randy Shannon, Ben Fuchs, Dr. Joanne Conaway, Dr. Laura Dennison, and the cadre of doctors that are absolutely monomaniacal about giving me unsolicited advice to keep me healthy. And what they do is they're constantly telling me what I need to do to stay healthier. And it gets bad. Dr. Wallach called me on the phone out of the sky blue. Tom, you cannot out supplement a bad diet. Peter Glidden, you are committing suicide with a fork. Tom, you were on stage. I did not like your skin tone. Right after you get off the stage, I want to meet you in the back and I want to do some tests on you. But the star of the show is the most unlikely star of the show since I got hurt, that I want you all, I'll send all the way to Australia a healthy start. Anybody that was on the Hair on Fire call today cannot cheat. But the star of this show, since I got hurt, the most unlikely guardian angel who's calling me literally every day is who? If you guess, we'll only do this for a second. If you put it in the comments or raise your hand, if you guess, I'll give you a free, the first guess, I'll give a free Healthy Start Pack too. Who is it?
It'd be more than likely Dr. Joel Wallach.
Nope.
No, can I have a guess?
Brandon.
Bronwyn?
Who do you say?
Bronwyn?
Bronwyn, no, Bronwyn cared, but not, she wasn't. I expected Bronwyn to care. Who else? Anybody you don't have a clue, because it's impossible to believe this is true. It was Dr. Wallach's wife, Dr. Malan.
Oh.
Harvard surgeon, unbelievable woman, and she has literally been like white on rice, especially about the herbs for Denice and I. Is that, and she's got to be 120. I mean, it is and she is as sharp as a tack, and it is the cutest thing. And here she comes in. Hello, Tom. Yeah, well, here's what we've been thinking about, Doc and I, and it's just unbelievable. And the reason I say that to you, and I'm going to talk about it later on Peggy Lapsley's call, is the, oh, Shannon, no, wasn't Dr. Shannon either. That was a good guess. She cares about me a lot, but I expect her to care about me. But I just didn't even know Dr. Malan even really knew I was alive, for God's sake. So that was really, really cool. And it just warmed my cockles. So I wanted you guys to know that. And everybody's watching you. Everybody's watching all of you. Everybody's making sure that you're staying healthy and happy and wholesome. And that's that simple. And it's really, really cool. Steve Wallach checking on me all the time. Annalise Brown checking on Denice all the time. It is incredible, the company that you're in, the community that you're in, the family that you're in. And they talk about the opposite of addiction isn't sobriety. The opposite of addiction is true human connection. And the minute you start losing that true human connection, you start doing all kinds of stupid stuff. You eat the food, that was alcohol. You eat the food, you drink the alcohol, whatever it is that is your secret vice. The minute you don't have connection and community with people, there is where you go. And I want you to understand that, because it's critically important, because we've got the Hair on Fire call in the mornings. We do all these calls, and the only reason we do them is community. And I know Dracy has done an unbelievable job of including people, whether it's the social selling club, whether it's the health coaches situation, whatever it might be. And I'm for all of those. I want you guys to find your vibe. I want you to find your tribe. And for me, it's Dr. Wallach. For me, it's the TMR Shake with Stan and Laura Dennison. I live on that. And, I surround myself with people I want to help, because when these chips came down and we were in big trouble. I don't know if you saw those first few days, but we were in big trouble. And at any time, I saw the doctor's report before they really got hold of me. They were so scared at age 73 of me having a heart attack, of having a stroke, of all that stuff. And I know I dodged death. But today I'm in a club of people that care about me, that I care about. And what's happened, I wish I could have Dominic bring back what just showed up. A giant basket of stuff came in. Julie Roddy sent all kinds of steaks. I mean, it has been, if you look at my social media posts, hundreds and thousands of people care about Tom and Denice Chenault. And do you know why that is? It's not because we're nice people. It's because I cared about them first. I have them on a rotation to remember. I'm reaching out. I'm telling them I love them. I'm telling them what can I do for them. I'm letting them know they're not alone. And to this day, I beg all of you, that's what I want you to do. I want you to think about the people that are alone. I want you to think about the people you love. I want you to think about the people that don't love you. And I want you to build those bridges, because we could have been gone, easily gone. This Friday, I've got a major concussion. I've got all kinds of stuff going on brain-wise. So I've got the neurosurgeon, is it called neurosurgeon? Neuro, whatever it is.
Yeah, you're a neurosurgeon.
Yeah, the guy that takes care of all that stuff. I've got the appointment Friday, and I'll find out how whacked I am, but I'm happily whacked. I don't care. I don't want to be any smarter. I want to be nicer. If I can't remember, I've got tools for that. All I want to do is to be able to have a powerful conversation with you. And I know all this trauma, the nightmares are unbelievable. I know I've got to do a bunch of work around that. I mean, I can't, my son, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Long's Peak, but it's way up there. And it's here in Colorado. And it's a scary hike. And I know some people that have fallen off it and died. And I'm not in the mood right now to have my son Adrian fall off that mountain. But he's going to climb Long's Peak Saturday morning. And I am scared to death. I'm scared to death. I'm not going to tell him I'm scared to death. And you're not going to tell him I'm scared to death. But you're going to pray for him, by goodness. Because I'm telling you, it is freaking me out. And it wouldn't have freaked me out a month and a half ago. It would have been scary, no big deal, you'll make it through it. I have no control over my thoughts. And here's why God is so great. Because that very tape I just told you to listen to with Tommy Rosen, the guy talks about reframing your thoughts. So when you're stuck in that spot obsessing about Adrian falling off the mountain, he gave me some tools last night to get rid of that and put my brain back where it wants to be. And that's thinking about good things, because I got no control of my brain right now. But I'm sure if I listen to that 2 or 3 more times through the week, I'm going to be able to get out of that bad neighborhood and not worry about Adrian falling off that mountain. But this thing has, when you're laying there thinking you might not ever see your wife again, or you might not see your kids again, or you might not see your grandkids again, or you might not see your longevity family again, it is deeply, deeply, deeply scary, disturbing, and traumatic. And what I was going through was horrible, but it was very similar to Bronwyn Clinton calling me from the middle of the night in Australia, frantic because her sister was being buried and she didn't have access to the stream. And there was no way she could figure out how to do it. And I felt the panic I'm having right this second with Bronwyn that day. And it is terrifying, and you have no place to go. And Bronwyn did what I need to get better at, and that was reach out and ask for help. Right, Bronwyn?
Yeah. Well, that's all we can do.
We're all in this foxhole together. And every one of us have problems. Every one of you would love to help me with my problems. I am positive about that. And every one of you would have a hell of a time asking me for help. I'm also very positive about that. We're really good at helping. It makes us feel good. But when it comes to asking for help, we absolutely cave. We think it makes us look weak. We think it makes us look less than. We don't realize it makes us look connected. My kids flew to Boston, Massachusetts. It was horrific. They were freaked out. They came in that room. I was in the emergency room for 3 days. They were in the emergency room with me for 3 days. They're going to need more psychological trauma testing than Bronwyn and then me, because they had to see their dad like naked 5 straight days in a row. And that has to be too much for any child. I mean, it was just horrible, but we all got so used to it. It became like changing a baby, except I was the fat baby, and all these miracles. And we're a close-knit family right now. I had no comprehension of how close we could be. I could have no comprehension of how close we are. And I had no comprehension of how I'm going to be able to help all of you in the same boat, all of us in the same boat, all of us get the message of Dr. Bruce Lipton and Dr. Joel Wallach and epigenetics and what's going on in the world where they're trying everything they can to kill us. These guys need the message out, and every one of us need to be healthy and happy in order to get that message out. And it's going to become even more of my life's work. The contact mapping, Dr. Wallach, all of that messaging. I am positive I had this accident to make me aware of the important stuff. And I truly believe that is the important stuff. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Bronwyn.
I don't smoke a pipe.
So that's kind of it. I mean, is there anything else you want me to cover?
Well, I would like you to cover, you were saying that Denice is not so good today, and that's why she's not on. And you were going to expand on that as much as you could without crossing the line.
No, so she's got that broken L5. She's got all kinds of stuff going on. And I know what happened. I know what's going on with Denice today. And what's going on with Denice today is she wasn't visibly injured enough to the point that I'm so injured and she's not injured. Did anybody here watch the training with Fred Van Loo on Saturday? You guys watched it, yeah. Did you see I spent the entire day on the couch? Did you notice that?
You mean with the Browns?
Huh?
You mean with the Browns?
The whole time when I was on that couch
Yeah.
behind me the
I saw
entire
you.
day because
Yeah.
I was so down and out and hurting, I couldn't sit up. But by God, even if I slept, I wasn't going to leave Fred Van Loo and all you people without upline support. Where I am right now, and I look like Jack LaLanne. I mean, you guys would never think I even got hurt. Well, here's the deal. Denice has been taking care of me for 29 days, 29 days. And everybody else pouring all this attention on Tom. She's got a broken back. She's beat to a pulp. She's got a concussion, but she had to really suck it up to take care of me. But I'm feeling good. So finally, her body and God allowed her to feel bad. So this morning, she couldn't get out of bed. And I swear to you right this second, Denice hasn't gotten out of bed all day long. I'm begging her to call the doctor. Tom, I don't even have a temperature. I'm begging you, Denice, you got to figure out, you got COVID. I don't have COVID, Tom. I haven't been around anybody. It didn't ever dawn on me until I'm sitting here talking to all of you that her body was actually able to relax enough to hurt. And that's what happened to her today. She is in agony. She can't even sit up. I'm in shock. I walked in. I said, we got to be on with Bronwyn in 15 minutes. And she went into hysterical sobbing. The poor angel started sobbing. She said, Tommy, I can't. And you know, she can't. She's been there for all of us. And finally, it's her turn. Better not last
give
too
her a big
long.
hug from us, because I totally get that, Tom. When, like I said, her when injuries aren't showing and other people can't see it, they don't realize how much you're hurting. And God's obviously said, Denice, it's time for your body to rest and heal.
Yeah.
And that's okay too. And it's good that you finally recognize that and not decided that she had something else.
I'm a pretty self-centered guy. So yeah, so that is, it's beautiful. And you know, God bless her. And what I can do to help her is support her. And if she's down for the next 5 days, she's down for the next 5 days. But she got me through it. And so now it's my turn to get her through it. And a couple of people it got back to me that they thought that Denice and I were milking this whole deal. And if any of you know those people that said that, please tell them that I would pay a ton of money not to have to milk this anymore. It's not fun. We can't drive. We're at the beck and call and everything of everybody. And it's just plain tough. So,
and
no,
Tom, to those people who say that sort of thing to you, because I've had that done to me as well, have clearly never been through the same sort of situation, who clearly don't understand and don't really know you.
Yeah, so it is what it is. You know, if you have to make people look bad in order for yourself to look good, that's not about me. So all I know is every one of you, I think you know that Denice and I are in the foxhole with you. I think you know that we are, you know, we do this game every day, all day long, at a level no ambassador nor corporate person does, other than Dr. Wallach. He's in this game all day, every day, 100%. He's not out flashing his cash. He's out there changing the world. And I want to be more like Dr. Wallach than I want to be any of those other people.
Me
That's
too.
it.
But now there have been a lot of comments in the chat there, Tom, that you might want to catch. And one of the very first ones was they want the links to those podcasts you were talking about so they can go and listen to them. If you could
Say that. What's that again? Say that again.
Those podcasts and that you were talking about earlier, if you could put the links in the chat so they can go and listen to them.
You're asking me to put something in the chat?
Yes, the podcast that you shared with us earlier.
Oh, Tommy Rosen's, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because Natalie would like to do that, and I think a lot of people would like to go and do that, but especially if they can save the chat, then they can get those connections. But there's a lot of love for you in the chat there too. And as I do here in Bronie's world, and I'm at Bronie's desk, I open it up for questions. So does anyone have a question they would like to ask Tom? If you can unmute and let me know, and I will screen save you. I'm surprised Grant doesn't have a question. He always has a question.
Look, I'm impressed, Tom. And I can hear where you're coming from, and I don't have any questions really. Yeah, like I can feel it more than anything.
Somebody click that link. Yeah, it says Saturday special, the case for epigenetics with Dr. Wallach and Dr. Bruce Lipton. So I got that one to come across. Yep, there it is. So it came across. That's on Amazon. So that's pretty cute. And now I'm going to try to get the other one over to you. Somehow here. Because I want you to have that real quick.
And everybody knows.
Hey, Tom,
Yeah.
after you get that one done, make sure you put in the link for that interview you did last week with that Adrian did on the Legacy Leadership Show. That was a phenomenal one.
Okay. I will do that. Hi, Doug Stair.
Hello, Tom.
Does anyone else have any questions for Tom while he's doing that? For whatever reason, my computer's done a weird thing. I'm having trouble finding you all now.
Okay, now I got you. You guys are going to be happy. I'm going to be able to send you this right now. Okay, give me one more sec. Going over here. Bang, bang. In the chat, we are dancing. There it is. The biology. There you go. I got them both in there. I feel like I'm very technical. Yeah, so great. So if you guys want to save the chat, you just hit the 3 dots at the top and it saves everything, so you don't have to be copying and pasting. But
and oh God.
Yeah, Irene, same deal. Irene. And you feel, and don't you feel alone and know where to go with that? Irene's on here and her husband's in deep water, and she just, same deal. We all face seasons. Let's just love each other. Cool.
Well, I don't know what's going on with my laptop. It's just done a weird thing, and it doesn't let me see the chat properly. But anyway, that's all right. It saves it for me. So guys, did anyone else have any other questions for Tom while we're here? Just unmute yourself. I'm trying to find you to bring you up.
I think Dr. Wallach's work is as spiritual, having gone through what I've done, as it is physical and obviously supplemental. I don't know who this guy is, Dr. Wallach, because every time I turn around, I am blown away. And those of you that are listening to Dr. Wallach these days, notice that he's lost a step. And that's okay. But if you go look at that one up there with him and Lipton and Michael's whirling, that was from 4 years ago. You're just going to be crying because Dr. Wallach was just as sharp as a tack and right on the money. And all we want to do is constantly pray for Dr. Wallach and thank YouTube and all these places that all of his great lectures are saved, because I'm telling you what, this guy is going to live forever with his messages, even if his body doesn't hold up. And this man right now, he's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Call Joel Wallach. So I'm going to ring it one time. I'm going to hang up, and we will wait to see how long Dr. Wallach before he comes back.
He's an amazing man. We all have a lot to be grateful for him continuing the fight. Which he could have been shut down. I mean, he could have been shut down with when he fought the FDA 8 times.
Yeah.
No, a better man, you know, like there are so many people who just won't take that fight, but he did that for us. And because of that, you are as healthy as what you are today, Tom.
Yeah. And, you know, it takes work. I mean, that bad foods list, you don't want to eat off that bad foods list, that good foods list. And I think I have anorexia, dyslexia. I think what I wanted to do was eat all the bad foods, a ton of the bad foods, and none of the good foods, instead of exactly the opposite, eat less of the even good foods and none of the bad foods, but I'm all mixed up. And so it took me a while to get my oars in the water and pay attention to what Dr. Wallach had been saying all along. But at this very moment right now, there's a website out there called whattomdid.now.site, and it just completely lays out my 60-pound weight loss and how I did it, how long I did it, how hard it was, what I took, and how it happened. And basically what happened was the good food list. What happened was the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. What happened was the TMR shake and listening to Dr. Wallach and just bombing that protein and that fiber into my body. And none of the garbage.
I can see you've lost that weight and you're looking really great. And I am one who am extremely grateful that you did that, because let's face it, as the medical people where you had that accident said, they did all these tests and couldn't find any deficiencies. And so you obviously took that step at the right time, because, you know, you obviously hadn't been listening to Doc 100%. And there's a lot of us out there don't. Let's face it, this program of getting better health is simple, but it's not easy.
Right.
Because it's like my sister that passed away, that's what she found. The hardest thing was giving up the foods on the bad food list. And it's often the downfall. It's like you said, Doc says you can't out supplement a bad diet.
Yeah.
We can have all the supplements in the world, but you know, that's his biggest message, is get rid of those bad foods. Because if you don't do that, the rest is also, okay, something's better than nothing, but it makes a difference. And I can see that in you. I can see it in Denice, in the way that you have got through this. Well, you're still going through it, but, you know, the fact that you are alive instead of dead, and that you're recovering. And okay, now Denice has had a setback, but her body stays strong enough for long enough to get you strong enough to now be her right-hand man.
Yep, I'm probably gonna do a Facebook Live on that tonight because it just makes sense to me. Linda Sue Brinkley's on here. She just got here. She's mid-80s. The woman does meetings every week. She's out there in the world running her favorite daughter's company. She is unbelievable on the vitamins and the minerals, and she just bought a turtle, and the turtle's name is Franklin. And the turtle is going to live 100 years. And she's so happy about that because she has put that into her estate. So she knows that even though she may hit the happy hunting ground one of these days, she's got all the relatives set up to take care of that darn turtle. And I think that's adorable. But, we learn each other's stories. That's the most important part. Learning each other's stories and being part of each other's lives.
Did you say she's on here? I'm trying to find her to.
I phoned Linda Sue down in the back of Todd Bonnie. She's on my bottom right.
Oh, okay. I can see it because she had. Are you able to unmute Linda? And put your camera on? Maybe she's not.
She's probably she did something. She's probably feeding Franklin.
Can you see me?
Hello, Linda Sue. How are you, baby?
I'm doing fine, Tom. You inspire me so much, and I hate this has happened to you and Denice.
Not me. I think it's the best thing that ever happened to us, but I love you.
I love you too. I love you too. I love you too.
Tell me about Franklin.
Oh, Franklin is doing fine. He's happy with his little tortoise. I feed him tortoise pellets from the pet store that are made for the tortoise, and so he gets all the nutrients. And then he really loves his romaine salad. He wants that romaine salad every day.
How long have you been taking the vitamins and minerals, and how's your health?
My health is good. I do not take any prescription medication, and I'm like, I didn't have as bad of an accident as you and Denice, but I did have an accident. And so I'm coming back from that. I'm walking with a cane, but I'm healthy as a horse.
I heard you hit a pothole, did $3,000
Yes.
worth. You did $3,000 worth of damage to your car.
Right.
Jacked up your body, and she still showed up and spoke at the training on Saturday. You are a beast. I love you.
Well, I got a lot of compliments. I was a little concerned because it fell on me the last minute because Karen, the girl that was going to do the makeup, her dog got into poison, and she had to watch that dog closely. You could imagine what would happen if something happened to Jake like that.
Yeah.
You'd have to watch right over him. But anyway, but I will tell you how I was able to pull it off, Tom. It's because of the resources that Longevity has for us. Avelia Ariaza has those trainings for the makeup and all. So I went to those. And so I was prepared to do that presentation.
You're a little rock star, and I love you. But that's what it's all about. We're going to change the world. And I'm telling you that we got to get these kids understanding they're committing suicide with a fork. It's got to get through to them. And it's up to us to do it and bring this younger generation into the Wallach movement. So you guys work on that.
Absolutely, we do. It's but they're still very blinded by things that are going on.
And if anybody is doing a big Super Saturday non-corporate in Australia, give me a little time in advance to know about it, and I'll bop in. I don't want to go to a corporate one because they told me they didn't want me, but I have no problem flying down for one of yours. And you're thinking, holy cow, is he an idiot? And the answer is yes. I'll do anything to prove a point. So
well, you have to get yourself better first.
I will. Oh yeah, it'll be a couple months, but I'll do it.
All right, you're on.
Look
You're
at
on.
this.
I'll hold you to that.
I just got the most beautiful message about you. And you guys know Bronie's heart, thank you, Rusty. And all of you. I mean, we're in this together. At some point, we won't be, and we need to make the ride as beautiful as possible. And the way that you do that is have a mission and to have legacy. And longevity gives me that. I know I wake up with purpose every day, and I've got work to do. And every one of you can do that too. So please do it. So,
Amen.
all right, Bron.
Amen to that. Well, thank you, Tom, for coming. If we have no further questions or comments, if anyone wants to say something to Tom, then we can call this now or so.
I'm glad you're here, Tom. Very glad you're here.
I love you, man. And, call me once in a while. And let me put my contact information. And so, I love Tracy. I think on the corporate side of she's the network marketer on the corporate side. You guys in Australia have the network marketer on the corporate side. That woman knows her stuff. She knows how to build a dynasty, and Australia is going to happen. I am sure about it. And as far as her story about my age goes, she's absolutely right. She's got to be able to cultivate a leader that can bring those kids. And I agree with her 1,000%. And I am going to tell you one thing right now. Australia, New Zealand are the gateway to the world, and literally nobody's capitalizing on it. This crew right here could be that crew. And it isn't the group that you build in Australia that's as important as that leader from another country that can have ground zero be Australia, have his tendons go out to the world, and every one of you could absolutely write your ticket doing that. So I know how to do that. I will do Australian trainings. I'll do whatever I can to help you guys, because I have a special spot from Perth all the way to the Great Barrier Reef and every city in between. I know it like the back of my hand, and I want to come down and visit. So thank you.
Well, I agree with you, Tom. This is one of the reasons I do what I do, is because I believe that Australia and New Zealand need this message. They need Doc's message. They need to embrace it, and they are lagging behind in that sense. But we need to get this message out to them, because I have a mission to save this country, Australia and New Zealand, down under, for better health, because we're being bombarded by Big Pharma. We're being bombarded by the governments with a whole lot of lies. And we need to get the truth out there.
Yeah.
And we need those younger people who are constantly being blinded and stepped by the media. They just,
It'll be great. I'll get old Jamel to go with me, and we'll grab his guitar so we can cause a party wherever we go. It'll be a blast. So I love you guys very, very much. Irene, I love you. I'm praying for you. I know what you're going through a little bit. Please call me on the phone and talk to me more. Natalie, thank you for those great messages. Doug Steer, I love you. Tony Breland, I don't know how I live my life without you. She's an angel, isn't she? She does everything, and I take all the credit. That's all it boils down to. Marcia Tappan Miller, good to see you. Lorna, awesome. Yvonne, you too. Loretta, I got the package. I'm very, very happy. We do it. David Haushaw, Grant, Michelle, Rusty, Doug Linder. I love you guys. CJ, I love you. Karen, good to see you. Leland Carson, Kimberly Labonte, I love you. So you guys have a great night, and thanks for letting me be part of this. All right. Well, thank you, Tom. And as I say here in Bronie's world, I ask you all really nicely to stay safe, stay informed, be empowered, but do not live in fear, my friends. And when you're getting those minerals into you and you're really taking care of your body before getting rid of those bad foods, before anything tragic happens to you, then you too will be powerful, beautiful, brilliant, and most definitely very brave. God bless you all, and
thank you for coming, and I'll catch you again tomorrow here in Bronie's World. Bye
Thank
for
you,
now.
Bronie and Tom. Thank you.
Love you all.
Bye-bye. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.